Well, the crypto market has been taking quite a beating today as Granny got kicked down the stairs, taking a bunch of altcoins with her. Now, with that in mind, a lot of investors are wondering why in the world are my altcoins down 8, 9, 10%? Why is Bitcoin nearly back down to $100 or $99,000? What is going on and what do we do now? And so, in tonight's episode, what I wanted to do is give you a quick video letting you know exactly what I think is going on and what I'm doing now. And so, with that said, I don't want to waste your time at all. As you all know, I am still currently out on vacation, but I got to get these videos out for you. And so with that in mind, look, let's not waste any more time at all and let's get straight into it. Now, first and foremost, what is going on? Well, earlier this morning, okay, I made a video for you all. 12 hours ago saying massive warning for all crypto holders. This is a bit scary. Now, what I was talking about in that video was the fact that Bitcoin liquidations started growing equally on both sides, and we were at a crossroads. Now, you may wonder, well, why is that so scary? Why was that such a big deal, and why were you issuing a warning? Well, what happens in this crypto market sometimes is that in periods of low volatility, meaning not a lot is going on, you start to see something called an imbalance. And what happens is that you start to see the market kind of tipping both ways. Some people thinking that is super bullish, some people thinking that is super bearish, some bullish, some bearish, and you start to see a loss of balance, and you can tell that it's gonna fall one way or another. Now, the way you can tell that this crypto market is gonna start to fall is when liquidations on both sides start increasing. When you start to see a bunch of people who would get liquidated if it goes down, and a bunch of people who would get liquidated if it goes up, usually what happens is that these market manipulators, right, these people who control prices, at least in my, conspiracy theorist opinion, they're licking their lips when they see that. They think, oh, you know what? If this market drops 5,000 and pumps 6,000, we can liquidate 500 million down there, liquidate 700 million up there, and the next thing you know, baby, we can pull in another 1.2, 1.1 billion dollars worth of crypto from these retail investors through liquidations, and then we can go back to normal. And when I see this sort of imbalance, I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. And so in this morning's video, I was telling you all, be careful. As a result of all of this volatility, this market's very likely going to pick up soon, and it's either going to really rip up or really rip down, and there's no way of knowing, but you just need to watch it. And well, what do you know? Less than 12 hours later, we go to crypto bubbles, and the entire market is falling like crazy. We have things like Fartcoin, Virtual, Bonk, Ondo, Trump, Pepe, and many more down over 10%. And man, it's looking a little bit rough, especially if you do go out to the week. We did see some decent gains here on the week a couple of days ago, but now over the last 24 hours, a lot of these cryptos erasing those gains, especially things like Trump and Fartcoin, down anywhere from 40 to 58%. Now, with this in mind, the next question that a lot of people are going to have is, okay, well, what does this mean for the crypto market? And the good news is it's not going to mean much. Now, the reason why I say that is because the only reason why I believe we are seeing this market pulling back right now is purely because that's what it's been doing. Everybody associates every single pullback with this big reason. Like, oh, if the market's pulling back, well, there must be this huge reason as to why it's happening. And quite frankly, that is not the case. Oftentimes, when the crypto market is range bound, meaning it's going sideways and we're in what I call HMZs or high manipulation zones, this market will go up and go down for almost no reason sometimes. You'll start to see it pump with no news. You'll get good news and it goes down. It's just what happens. And oftentimes, this is more of a result, in my opinion, manipulation than anything else. I believe the market makers are manipulating the market to pull as many liquidations as humanly possible. And the longer we can stay in this sideways channel, the more likely it is you will see pullbacks just like the one today, almost out of nowhere. Now, there are a couple of things that could be influencing this, right? Maybe people are front running the FOMC. Maybe they have some sort of news or ideas of what's going to happen with FOMC, and they're kind of just starting to pull some of their profits right now. Maybe we have some bad news coming from the White House. Maybe people are just disappointed by the fact that there's no Bitcoin strategic reserve yet, right? Maybe there are all these reasons, and it's all this market is. It's just a bunch of maybes. But what I do know is that as of right now, nothing intrinsically has changed for the crypto market from an hour ago to 2 hours ago or 10 hours ago to now. And so the likelihood is here, considering the fact that we called this morning, it's just going to be a little bit of manipulation. Now, as this is happening, okay, there is something that I am watching though, as this is happening, and that is actually Bitcoin dominance. Because Bitcoin dominance right now is in pursuit of breaking through this golden zone. Now, Bitcoin dominance quite simply is the total market cap of crypto that is controlled by Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is doing better than altcoins, Bitcoin dominance goes up. If altcoins are doing better than Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance goes down. And what we can see about this golden zone is that, well, if Bitcoin technically can clear this golden zone, if Bitcoin dominance can clear this golden zone, that would mean that Bitcoin dominance might now be in a new breakout. It will have confirmed some sort of bottoming structure, such as a cup and handle or Adam and Eve pattern, whichever one you want to call it. And that would imply that Bitcoin is going to extremely, I mean, we are talking about significantly outperform the rest of the altcoin market. Now, why is this so important? Well, in periods in which Bitcoin is outperforming the rest of the market, it's typically one of two reasons. Option number one is that the crypto market is dumping and Bitcoin's not dumping as much. That is reasonable. Option number two is that Bitcoin is pumping and altcoins aren't pumping so much. Now, which one of these is it going to be? No one truly knows. I would say the fact that we saw Bitcoin ETFs purchase over $4 billion worth just last week, it would make me lean in the direction that it's more likely that Bitcoin would see gains without the altcoin market seeing gains, especially because there has been some separation and divergence recently. But I'm not going to say it's impossible that this market is going to continue to dump and Bitcoin's just not going to dump as much. The only thing about it is, though, that even on days like today where the market is pulling back, Bitcoin dominance isn't going very high up like it would need to during a breakout like that. So to me, it almost makes me feel as if it's more likely that Bitcoin would start to see some upward trajectory. Maybe it starts to pump. The altcoin's not pumped so much, and then we of course start to see Bitcoin dominance going up, just like we did throughout the majority of 2024. It seems like a lot of investors do forget that 2024 was a Bitcoin year. It was a year where Bitcoin was seeing all-time highs when most cryptos and other altcoins weren't, and I do believe that it is possible we enter into another period just like that, because historically bull markets are full of that. Historically, a bull market 80 to 90% of the time is Bitcoin doing better than altcoins up until that last 10 to 20% where altcoins outperform Bitcoin, and then the end of the bull market is there. And so one way or another, there is no true way of knowing which one of these options it's going to be. It is either going to be up or down, and that's kind of obvious. I think everyone and their grandmother, especially the one who just fell down the stairs, I think everyone knew that, but it is most important to pay attention to the fact that Bitcoin is very likely, one way or another, going to outperform this market. And so because of that, if this does continue, especially if the market does continue downwards, I think what I am considering doing is pausing all purchases and sells, leverage trades. I haven't leveraged trades in weeks, but just pausing everything. And if I do dollar cost average, focusing my DCAs into Bitcoin. I think I am going to switch my strategy a little bit here, as I have been DCAing into some altcoins, but quite frankly, they're just bleeding against Bitcoin consistently. And if Bitcoin dominance is going to go for a breakout here, that means that they're going to continue to bleed against Bitcoin, whether the market's pumping or dumping. And so I do think that I am going to be switching my strategy up a little bit here, but obviously I'll just keep you all updated as that does play out, right? Now, one thing that I will let you know is that earlier today, I did issue a do nothing warning for the crypto school. I told them that, listen, as a result of that liquidity imbalance that we saw just this morning, I'm not doing anything. I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I'm not trading, and I will continue to do that. But if Bitcoin does drop anywhere below $100,000, I will start dollar cost averaging almost solely into Bitcoin for a while, especially if that is what is going to lead the market. Now, I do have some good news to kind of end this video off. As you all know, the way that we somewhat had an idea that this market pullback was going to happen was because of liquidations. And if you do actually go look at liquidations right now, it is actually moving in a good direction. As of now, the time that I am recording this video, the vast majority of all of those liquidations that we were worried about this morning have happened. We were worried the market might pull back to liquidate all those people that I told you about over in the school. You see all these liquidations? Well, most of that has happened, not only just on the 1 day, but also on the 7 day as well. Now, there are still some, and that does mean that this market may still continue downwards. We might see Bitcoin fall below 100,000 or 99,000 to finish liquidating all these people. But the good part about it is that it's almost over. We're almost to a point where the majority of the liquidations have been complete. And even better than that, there are now a lot of liquidations to the top side. There are now on the 7 day over $7.43 billion worth of liquidations that will happen if Bitcoin's price does climb a couple $1,000s. And so as a result of that, it is leading me to believe that we could be getting towards the end of this little pullback that we're seeing here from Bitcoin. And it wouldn't shock me if we do see this market sometime soon, maybe even this week, start trying to pump back to the upside again to liquidate all these greedy short traders who are sure that the bull market is over. And so with that in mind, again, yeah, the market is pulling back right now and it does suck, but this is something that we've been prepared for. Again, I told you about this over here on the YouTube channel and over in the school, that you have to be careful when you see these imbalances and these crossroads on liquidations because, quite frankly, it is very dangerous and it is something that can lead to days exactly like this, and you just have to be prepared for it. But on the bright side, there is a little bit of clarity. The clarity here is that Bitcoin is very likely going to start outperforming this market very soon, and that means that it is a good idea to start shifting your attention and probably even liquidity back into Bitcoin. And while this is happening, it does seem to me as if the majority of liquidations are coming to an end towards the downside, which could be a good thing for, of course, any of you crypto investors who are tired of these pullbacks and this big pullback that we've seen today. And so obviously the majority of what I've done in this video is just speculation. I'm speculating that there's market makers and people, lizard people who control the market, right? But these speculations are based off of years and years of experience and avoiding the pitfalls within this market. And so with that in mind, I will continue to bring you these updates, even if I am just purely speculating, because it does seem as if you guys do enjoy them. Now, one thing that I do want to let you know before we do go is that if you do want to get access to things like this report I released for the community at 6 a.m. warning them of what could be coming today that we did end up seeing coming today, you can check out that Patreon link down below. That will get you access to the school. This is where we have over 1,200 members, and the best part about it is, guys, it's very simple. We take crypto investors like yourselves. We give you courses, coaching, classes, live streams, workshops, signals, research, Q&As, and much more, and they're able to refine your strategies, because strategies are where gains made. Strategies are what helps you avoid days like today. And I'm not talking about little gains. I'm talking about big gains. You can see just the gains that have been generated just over the last 24 hours. It's absolute madness. Millions of dollars in profit have been generated in this community just over the last couple months. So feel free to go check that out. And again, the best part about it is you can get your money back guaranteed if you don't enjoy it. And it starts as little as $5 a month. Last thing last, guys, don't forget to go sign up on BTCC, which I will link in the description down below. They're going to give you a 10% bonus on all first time deposits between $500 and $100,000, which is a great way to get a good head start in this market, especially on days like today. So go check all these things out. Don't forget to pay very close attention, because remember, we are in an HMZ and high manipulation zone. And in these zones, there's going to be rips to the upside, rips to the downsides, fake outs, breakouts, liquidity hunts, micro pumps, and much more. And you have to avoid them. And so right now, I'm not doing much. I'm just watching, letting it all play out, especially through the volatility of all of these catalysts. And then we'll go from there. And so if you have been enjoying these updates while we have been in this crazy zone, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.